Ben bongs for Brexit. The tolls of the famous bell heralding in a new era for the UK.
This is an amazing moment for this country. We have our freedom in our hands, and it is up to us to make the most of it.
With much of the country in lockdown due to coronavirus, both New Year's Eve and Brexit celebrations were subdued. The road to Brexit has been a protracted and divisive one. The decision to leave the EU cost one Prime Minister his job. Another fell trying to make it happen. There were heated protests.
Order!
And bad-tempered debates in Parliament that ended up deadlocked on the issue for years. Then came the torturous negotiations with the EU.
Prime Minister and the First Lady of Israel.
To begin the new year, President Moon Jae-in inspected the country's defense readiness postures on land, sea and air. He made the inspection from on board the E-737 P-Psi aircraft early Friday morning during a 2-hour flight. The top office said Moon is the first commander-in-chief to ride the surveillance plane and that the first item on his itinerary for 2021 reflects his commitment that there can be no peace without security. Moon also spoke on the phone with commanders of key military forces. He thanked soldiers for maintaining readiness around the clock and offered words of encouragement.
Major boost to India's defense industry, 9 countries from Southeast Asia and Africa expressed interest in the acquisition of DRDO-developed Akash air defense missile. This comes after the Union Cabinet approved the export of indigenously developed Akash missile, setting up a panel to ensure faster approvals for acquisition proposals by various countries. The center has been working towards achieving a target of $5 billion in defense exports through exporting domestically designed high-value defense platforms. While tweeting on the development, Union Defense Minister Rajnath Singh revealed that the export version of Akash will be different from the system currently deployed with the Indian Armed Forces. He also called Akash an important missile, since it is 96% indigenously made.
As China braces for increased transmissions of COVID-19 over winter, it's announced that a vaccine of its own has been approved for widespread use. Few details have been given, but Beijing says the Sinopharm vaccine meets World Health Organization standards. Local media are reporting that as many as 50 million people from high-priority groups will be vaccinated before the Lunar New Year holiday in February. According to health officials, the price of the vaccine will depend on the scale of use. Authorities are urging people to protect themselves with the vaccine. The United Arab Emirates was the first country to roll out this very vaccine to the public this month.
The FBI is investigating what happened at a Wisconsin hospital where an employee had been fired for intentionally ruining more than 500 COVID-19 vaccine doses. Advocate Aurora Health says the employee in question admitted to mishandling 57 vials of the Moderna vaccine by removing them from the refrigerator. The tampered vials were left out overnight, forcing the hospital to throw them out the next day. Like the Pfizer vaccine, Moderna's vaccine needs to be transported and stored at deep freeze temperatures. It can then be stored locally at more typical refrigeration temperatures for several days before use.
Pakistan has once again made headlines for all the wrong reasons. In a shocking revelation that has come to light from Africa, a Pakistan Army colonel, tasked with UN duties in Congo, has been found to be converting UN mission employees to Islam in the country. Islam is the minority religion within Democratic Republic of the Congo, where the large majority is affiliated to various Christian sects. According to local sources, Colonel Saqib Mushtaqi, a Pakistani contingent deputy commander, part of United Nations Organization Stabilization Mission, in the Democratic Republic of the Congo, is accused of proselytizing. The Pakistan Army official reportedly approached a few Christian UN mission employees, asking them to convert them to Islam. The General Headquarters has also launched an internal inquiry into the incident.
Meanwhile, North Korean leader Kim Jong-un expressed New Year's greetings to his people in a handwritten letter instead of the usual trademark address. The regime's state-run media reported on Friday that through the letter he vowed to work hard to introduce a new era in which the ideals and desires of the people will come true. It's the first time in 26 years that a North Korean leader has sent New Year's Day's greetings to his people. Observers note he could have skipped this year's address to distract from announcements to be made at the 8th ruling Workers' Party Congress in January. The event will cover Kim's new 5-year economic development plan and possibly a message to the incoming Biden administration.
It's a small change with the hope it'll have a big impact. The Prime Minister altering the national anthem to make us one and free rather than young and free. And while it was done to recognise our Indigenous history, some Indigenous Australians say it doesn't go far enough.
From Australia Day to our biggest sporting stages. This is gone in place of this.
For we are one and free.
To recognise a 60,000-year Indigenous history. The change, recommended by the Prime Minister and ticked off by the Governor-General, was pushed for by the New South Wales Premier.
I'm incredibly proud of that change.
It's the first change since 1984. Bob Hawke was Prime Minister. But Advance Australia Fair was penned back in 1878 by Scottish-born composer Peter Dodds McCormick. It wasn't the anthem until 1973, briefly replaced by God Save the Queen, before being reinstated.